Imagine you have a business partner and both of you have 50% ownership of this business. And last year in 2023, your business did exceptionally well. You had a lot of customers. The profits were there. You did a lot of good reinvesting into the business, and then you ended the year with a surplus. So now we're in 2024. You even have more customers and getting more business, but the money isn't there. And you're thinking to yourself, what happened? What's wrong? But you're not stealing any money from the business. You're doing everything you're supposed to do. And your business partner comes in to you and says, Angry Mizzy, why are you not paying the bills in the business? We owe these people. Why are we not paying the bills? And you're like, well, I haven't done anything with the money. But guess what? Stop the show. Your business partner who's telling you you need to pay the bills is the reason why that money is stolen. That person is taking trips to Dubai. They're taking trips to Las Vegas. They're out there booty clapping sounds. They're out there tricking. They're doing everything but blaming you for spending the money in the business when in fact they are doing it. I guess many of us, even if you have a husband or a wife, could understand how that could be. The person blaming you for the problem is the problem themselves. That brings us to Tiffany Henyard, the city girl mayor. You see, she's done all of which I'm talking about. The city's budget about 2 years ago was doing pretty good. Everything was okay. Overtime for police officers were fine. But nope, when Tiffany Henyard went into office, a lot of stuff started happening. Like, her buying this particular Chevrolet Tahoe.
At the end of the day, nobody comes here to argue with you. Nobody at all. There are bills that we have the right to take off. We have the right to make decisions about. You say that you're running it at the end of the day, because this is going to be the narrative. When we go broke, you're going to say, I wasn't even on the bank account. The trustees did it. When at the end of the day, you're making decisions and spending money and then get mad when we don't approve it because it's not financially sound. I sat here and looked at a lease that y'all's paying $149,000 for one of them trucks. You make that's like when you 19 years old and you go get a car and the interest rate 27%. That makes absolutely no sense. You're not making great finance. Excuse me?
Please state facts.
But let me tell you, here it is, dated December 27, 2022, the cash price of a 2023 Chevy Tahoe, $93,216.71. Interest and APR, $55,929.49. Total lease price, $149,146.20. Tell me if it's not facts, because your signature is all on it.
Or what about the refusal to turn in the receipts of money that she's spending?
Trustee Jason House highlighted that the board hasn't received the credit card statements in 6 months.
As we've been repeatedly asking for information that's been documented time and again about credit card statements. We haven't received credit card statements in 6 months. We haven't gotten the electronic warrant list, but yet we're supposed to vote on it.
This is not new to this administration. On September 6, 2022, the village accounting firm flagged an issue via email regarding missing supporting invoices. A sum of $64,899.66 in credit card transactions lacked accompanying receipts or any form of supporting documentation within the system. Subsequently, another notification was received in November concerning transactions amounting to $54,456.07 without corresponding receipts. The cumulative total of these transactions without proper documentation amounts to $119,355.73.
But I think we're getting somewhere, because the trustees of Dolton have released a new video which shall explain exactly what Tiffany Henyard has been doing. Now again, she's going to come out and blame the city and the trustee board for not paying vendors the money that is owed to them, right? She's saying, hey, you guys need to pay these people. Let's check it out.
In the village of Dolton, a contentious issue has arisen regarding unpaid vendors and fiscal responsibility. Let's dive into the details of this ongoing conflict. The mayor says if the vendor does the work, they should get paid.
If they did the work, pay them. What is the issue? Pay them.
And all I'm asking
is you guys pay people what's owed to them. They did the work, let's pay. That's the end of my statement.
But the sad reality is, after the board does vote for important items to get paid, it doesn't happen. One of the key components of this dispute is the Community Block Grant, an annual grant allocated to the village for street resurfacing. The board voted to resurface 5 streets in Dolton and to pay the vendor responsible for the work. Unfortunately, despite the board's decision, the vendor remains unpaid. On December 14th, D Construction sent an email to Trustee Jason House highlighting the unpaid balance of $378,620.64. The situation extends beyond street resurfacing. The company LED Lighting Solutions, responsible for installing special stop signs that light up, is also awaiting payment with a balance of $17,999.80. Vendors frustrated by the lack of response from the mayor and her administration, these vendors turned to the trustees for help. It's worth noting that these vendors were approved by the board, further adding to the complexity of the situation. The heart of the matter lies in the village's financial situation. The administration does not have the funds to pay these vendors because of the current $7 million deficit and the $1 million police detail.
Overtime police before this administration that did not have security details following them around everywhere, overtime was at $600,000 maximum every year. This administration is at 1.6 million. How are we going to get service? We need the mayor to stop spending money irresponsibly.
4 years ago, we were not in this mess. 4 years ago.
Yes, we were.
So, correction, we were not in this mess. We were paying bills. We did not have vendors emailing us on a weekly basis for non-payment.
To keep the false story that the board is not doing their job and the village is not going broke, she is taxing the residents with high fines and water shutoffs in the winter.
They are all here after getting slapped with various citations all of a sudden by the city.
Every single resident. Pay me what you owe me.
In conclusion, the board stands united in their effort to prevent the administration from pushing Dolton further into debt.
But what she's not going to tell you is that they're $7 million over budget because of her.
One comment on the financials, and I don't know how I neglected to do this. All the way until last month, we were receiving monthly financial reports. This month, we did not receive a monthly financial report the way that we traditionally would. When we talk about the deficit, last fiscal year through May, the deficit was $2.5 million in our operating account. This year through the report we got, which was September 30th, I pulled that up as you were speaking. So from May through September, there was an additional $4.2 million of deficit. So you couple those two together, the deficit is growing and it's approaching $7 million. And I will share that financial report. We have not received anything this month. And my concern, and sometimes you kind of joke your way through some of the pain because it really is painful. But we speak how in different meetings, Trustee Belcher would bring a lease or an invoice, and then the retaliation on the next month is we don't get access to the accounting system.
You see, guys, that is the big issue and the problem right there. The young lady wants to be holding somebody accountable when she's not doing the work herself. And this seems to be a big problem, not only in politicians all across the world, but especially with black politicians. We don't want anybody to criticize the things that we are doing when we're in public office, yet we're the ones telling others what to do when it's us that are taking away the money. And that's the issue. Here we have a great level of what is black level of unaccountability. Now, I know what some people can say. Well, you're not calling out the white people. What about them? And I get it. Yes, she's a sister. She's a young lady. And of course, she's one of the first black female mayors in the country. But here's what we got to understand. When you are a black female anything, or a black person doing something in business, here's what you got to do. You have to actually perform better than anybody else. Why? Because you're going to be hit with a lot of scrutiny, especially from the people that believed in you. We got to understand that we don't have a whole lot of trust in the Black American communities, and we don't, right? So when people ask us to do something and we don't do it, we know they're going to be the first people to be on our behinds. And if we don't do what we say we're going to do, we're always going to have problems. We got to understand that. My dad used to always tell me, you got to be 2 to 3 or 4 times better than a white person. Now that's in white America. I'm gonna tell you like this though, when you're in the black sector, yes, it's true. You can be a Dr. Umar and lie all day and not do anything. But people are gonna also call you out in the black community when you say you're gonna do something and you don't do it. It looks bad on you, it looks bad on the community, and what it does, it halts other people that have the talent in Black America to want to do something to not be given the opportunity. Let's just say, for an example, you own a construction firm, and we hear this all the time. African-American construction firms don't perform at the same level of the Hispanics. But because some of the Black construction firms get the money and don't do the work, now everybody's gonna say, just go to the Hispanics, right? Just go to the Mexicans or go to the Indians. That's what's going to happen because we didn't do the job. And that's what we need to start to do, is have some level of accountability to bring in trust and collaboration. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.